Okay, clear, right? So in the last class, we are discussing about the within the SQL. We have completed in terms of so just as a small recap, whatever we have completed till now. So within the SQL, till now we have covered like this. The first one is introduction to SQL, and along with the installation of SQL, how to install the SQL, that is MySQL, installation of particularly database called as MySQL database, how to install the MySQL database installation, and followed by, right? And within the SQL, we have seen the data types. What are the data types? And what are the different types of keys are available? Keys, and followed by constraints. What are the different constraints? And languages. What are the various languages? And while working with the languages, how what are the different languages we are having? Miss, first one is data definition language. Next one is data query language, data manipulation language, data control language, and transaction control language. And in the DDL particularly, we are going to create what we are going to create. We are going to create database. First one is create database. And in the database, we are going to create the tables. Only these two can be created. One is database and second one is tables. Okay. Either database will be created or table will be created. Next, alteration. Okay, alteration to the table. What is meant by alteration to the table means we can add, we can remove, and we can replace. These are called as alterations. So you're going to do the alter table. In the alter table, what are the things we can do means add column, we can drop column, and we can rename the column name. So three things: rename column. Okay, so three we are having. And similarly, this is with respect to column. Similarly, we can add the primary key, we can add the keys, and also we can drop keys. And similarly, we can add constraints. What are the constraints are there? We can add the constraints and we can drop constraints, right? And similarly, we can modify data type. Modify the data type. We cannot add the data type or we cannot rename the data, drop the data type. Just we are going to modify the data type. So these are all comes under alter table. So adding a column, dropping a column, renaming a column name, renaming the column name, and adding the keys, dropping the keys, adding constraints, dropping constraints, and we are modifying the data type. So these are all comes under alter the table. And in the last class, we have already discussed alteration part. Now, next we are having is called as rename. Now directly we are renaming. What is the difference between this rename versus this rename is? Here we are renaming the table name. If you want to rename the table name, that is different. If you want to rename the column name, that is different. Column name rename comes under alter table. Renaming the table name comes under rename directly. Okay, it is rename. Okay, next one we are having is called as truncate and drop. Okay, next one we are having is called as truncate and followed by drop. So what we can drop? Either we can drop the entire database, what you have created, that you can drop. Creation part, what you have created, create database you have created, and also you have created the tables. So create database, create tables. So what you can drop means you can drop the database and you can drop the tables. Drop database or drop the table. Drop table means deleting completely. Values you are deleting, columns you are deleting, complete table you are deleting. Right? Drop table. Next one is called as truncate. So before moving on to the truncate, we have to add some data internally, some table. So let's go with the MySQL workbench and let us practice some more examples. And in the last class, I asked you to create one ER schema. I think every one of you have created that example. And empty tables are created. 4 tables are created in your case, right? So here I'm having the tables like this. Now, in this case, in my case, what happens means I'm having the database. What is the database? Now, presently, if I write here something will be impacted on which database? Any database was selected here? No, because none of the database in the bold letters. Which are the database in the bold letters? Only that database. It was just you have done like this, but none of them is bold letters. So here I'm going to write use SRK. When I write like this only, then automatically this part will be converted as bold letters. Now from now, what are the queries I'm going to execute? It will be impacted on that particular database. Right? Now in this database, I'm having total 3. What are the 3 means? Customers, items, and sales. Yesterday I've told you how to create this one, right? In the last class, we have discussed up to here and how to drop the foreign key and everything, right? Now, in this, all the tables are empty. Now, as per your last diagram, what are the diagram you have created in the last class? First, I ask you to draw the diagram. According to the diagram, we have to create the tables. So what is the diagram is customers table. Customers table consists of what are the columns it consists of? One is customer ID. Second one is name of the customer. Customer ID and second one is name. Out of these two, this is the primary key. And coming to the second table, which is items. In the items, I'm having the item code and item name. And this is the primary key in this table. Now coming to the third table called as sales. In this table, I'm having the purchase number and customer ID and along with the item code, where purchase number is the primary key and remaining 2 of them are foreign keys. Whenever there is a foreign key, connection should be there. So this is connected to this and this foreign key is connected to this one. So foreign key is there means automatically reference also should be there. Reference means connection should be there. And we have completed up to here in the last class. Now what we are going to do means now we are going to add some data. I'm going to try to add some data. Now how to add some data means we are going to use the insert. That is next one. So next concept we are going to discuss is called as insert table. Okay. Now before inserting the table, already I have told you how to rename the table name. So for example, I want to rename the customers to customer names or customer details. I want to give the new table name called as customer details is the table name. I want to rename it. How to rename? Rename customers, rename table. What are the table is there? Table, customers. What are the customers is there? Customers to customer details. Okay. So I'm going to rename the customer to customer details. Now the table was renamed from one to another. So entire table name was changed by using the, what is the name? I'm going to use the rename. Right? Sir, now it is throwing the error now, sir. Already one time executed and in the flow I'm executing one more time. what happened when I'm executing second time is already was changed to customer details. Now there is no customers. It is saying that there is no customers. Okay. Now next, customers to customer details. Now if I refresh here, can you see customer to customer details? It was renamed to customer details. So like this we are going to rename. Now I want to delete the next one is drop. Now I want to drop the table. Which table I want to drop means customers table or customer details. Can I drop directly like that? No, because it is a parent or child. It is a parent table. Parent table has to be deleted means first child table has to be deleted. Without deleting the child table, parent table cannot be deleted. So I'm going to drop the table called as sales. Okay, how to drop a table means by writing like this, and in that completely data was removed. So sales table is not there now. Only customer details and items. These are only two are there. So this table is not there. Now tell me whether these two tables, now what are the balance two tables are there? These two tables are having any connection between them? No connection. They are independent to each other like that. Now you can delete any of the table as per your choice. Which other table you are interested, you can remove. Right? Now if I want to remove now, I customers table, I'm going to remove the drop table customers. Right? Now customers, the name was renamed to customer details, right? So I'm renaming this one to customer details. Drop the table customer details. Now it is dropped. Now that table also dropped. Now how many tables are there, miss? Only one table is there. Now let's try to insert some data in that. Next concept we are going to learn is how to drop the database. Okay, how to drop the table was completed. Now let's see the example for drop database. Database SRK. Now entire database is dropped. In that, sir, for example, in that instead of one table, 5 tables are there. And if you click on the drop database, what happens? 5 tables will be deleted. You don't need to delete individually table wise. All the tables will be deleted automatically. Drop database means everything related to that, nothing will be there. Right? So drop database and you have to write the database name. Drop table and you have to write the table name. And rename the table name. So everyone is clear with the rename command and drop commands. With the rename command, what we can do? We can rename only the table name. And with the drop command, what we can do? Drop the database along with the drop the table. These two are applied with the drop command. This is applicable with the rename. Drop and rename. Next, with the create command, what you can do? With the create command, we can create database or we can create the table. These are the two things which we can do in the create command using the create command. And in the alter, we can do the alteration to the tables. That is, within the alter table, we can add the columns. We can do this one, keys and constraints along with the data types. So all the examples we have tried to cover with create, alter, rename and drop. Now truncate was missing. Truncate we have not discussed. Why? Because to discuss the truncate, we require some data first. So in order to see the truncate, before going to the truncate, let's go with the insert. So what we are going to have next one is insert. Insert means I'm inserting the data. I'm going to insert into table. Okay, into the table, what are the values? Now here I'm going to take the table. So for getting the table, what I'm going to do means, again, I'm creating the database once again, because already I have dropped now, deleted the entire database. So again, I'm creating one more time. I'm creating the database and After one more time creating the database, again I'm creating the table. And this time I'm creating the table called as customers. Only one table. For seeing the example for the truncate example, just I'm creating one table, example purpose. Now, when I'm trying to create this table, okay, now it is throwing the error. Why? Because no database was selected here. So after creating the database, SRK was selected, but this create table should be done in which database? First, you have to select the database. To select the database, what we have to write? Use SRK, the database name. And after use SRK, now we are going to execute this one and the table will be created. Now in this table, any constraints are there? Keys, primary key is there. Any constraint? No, not even one constraint. So now customer ID will accept any kind of null values. Customer ID will accept null values? No, because it is a primary key. What about the name? Name of the person? It will accept the null values. Now see here, I'm going to insert into table. Okay, I'm going to insert into the table. And here, first I'm writing the first column name, that is customer ID, comma, name. Okay. And what are the values are there? Values. Values are, I'm going to insert the first customer name is 1 and the name of the customer is SRK. Right? So customers into table name. What is the table name? Customers table. Table name is customers. We have to write the table name. Customers of customer ID, comma name and values of 1, comma SRK. Now what happens? It is going to be inserted in the customer ID position 1 and in the name position SRK. It is going to fill like this. And if you want to check, you can write select star from customers. Now, can you see here? Only one customer ID and the name of the customer is SRK. Right? Now, I want to insert the two customers with customer ID 2 and with the Siva and also customer ID 3 Rama. This one, two things I want to insert at a time. Now, how to insert two things at a time means, again, insert into customers and what are the values are there? What is the first value is 1, comma SRK is the first value, comma. Second value, what is the second value? Means 2, comma Siva. 2, comma Siva. Right? Now, this is 2, comma Siva. And next one is 3, comma Rama. Right? Now I'm going to insert two values. First, I'm going to take here insert into table name, customer ID, and this one values. First value, this is my first value. I will write clearly bottom to this so that it will be very clear for us to understand. Like this, I will write. So now automatical customer ID is 2, name is Siva, customer ID is 3, name is Ram, and it will be inserted like this. Now, once the data was inserted, again I'm asking to check the data. What are the data I have inserted? Just I'm asking. Now, can you see? Total 3 tables are there. Just you are adding a new row in a pandas table. You are adding a new row. After adding, how to check that one? Print df. That print df is nothing but this one. Select star from customers. Select star from tables is nothing but printing the entire table. Every time you have to print the entire table and you have to see what are the modification you have done, whether it is working or not. You have to say miss print now. Now let's go with the one more example. Insert into. Now I'm inserting in terms of one more 3 and the name is Siva. Now whether it will be inserted? No, already 3 is available. Now one more time 3 you are asking. Now what happens? It is going to throw the error that duplicate entry 3 for customers of primary. For primary key it is a duplicate. So it is not going to accept. So you are going to get an error when you are trying to insert a duplicate key. Now here if you write in terms of 4, it will accept. For customer IDs, what about the Siva? Siva for the name. Name can be duplicated? Yes, name can be duplicated because we have not given the name as primary key or we have not given the name as in terms of unique. So it will accept the duplicate records. And if you print this one, can you see now duplicates are available in the name? Okay. Now this is last, ended, completed. That is the meaning. The last one is not null, it is completed. Is the point is clear? Now, next. So when you are trying to insert a duplicate record for the primary key, it will throw the error. It will not accept that one. Now, next coming to the, I want the missing value. So here I want to take only the customer ID, but I don't want to give the name. So for that, what I'm going to do means insert, okay, only name I'm going to consider and the name, not name, customer ID. Only customer ID I'm going to give. Only customer ID and that customer ID is 5. I have not given the name. Now, whether it will be accepted? Accepted because customer ID is compulsory because customer ID is not null. What about the name? Name if you don't give also not a problem. And if you check the customers, see now you can see here null value. Now the same logic let us apply for the, now I'm giving the name but I'm not giving the in terms of ID and the name is I'm going to give the Krishna. Now when I write like this, it is going to throw the error. Customer ID doesn't have any default value. Either you have not given any default value, either you have not given auto increment, nothing is there. When nothing was assigned to the customer ID and customer ID is a primary key, it cannot be with the null value. So since it cannot accept the null value, it is going to throw the error. Is the point is clear? Everyone? If you want to insert any particular, for example, now tell me guys, according to this, you tell me. I'm having the total bill, tip, gender, and whether the person is smoker. Total 4 columns are there. For none of them, constraint is there. None of them is primary key. Nothing is there. No key, no constraint, nothing. Okay. Everything will accept the duplicate. Everything will accept the null values. Now I want to provide only for the tip $5 and gender is male. I want to give only for this one. Tip of $5 with gender of male. What is the query I have to write for this one? Remaining 2 should be null. Then what is the query? Insert into some table name. Tips is the table name. Tips values. In the tips, which columns has to be selected? All the columns are no. If you don't write any particular column name, it will take by default 4 column names. If you want to write the 4 column names, you no need to write. By default, it will take all of them. Particularly, if you want to select any particular column name only, you have to write. Otherwise, no need to write. Okay. Now, in this bracket, which column you are going to consider? Tip column and gender column. And followed by these 2 columns. Next, values. Values 5, M and column. So automatically 5 will go with the tip, M will go with the gender. But what about the total bill miss? Null value. And what about the smoker miss? Null value. Okay. If you don't give here column names, then how many values you have to write here? 4 values you have to write, because it will take automatically. Is the points are clear, guys? Everyone understood? Now, so here I'm having the data like this. Now select star from customers. When I click on the select star from customers, total 5 records are there. Now let's observe here clearly. Okay. First, tell me in this table how many tables are there? One table. What is that table? Customers. In that, how many columns? 2 columns, customer ID and name. How many records? 5 records. Now my requirement is I want to delete the record of 3. Single record. Only 3. Now, not 3, Siva. I want to remove the Siva. Siva is multiple times was repeated. Now, if I ask in terms of delete Siva, what happens means 2 records will be deleted. But I want in terms of customer ID 4 Siva only should be removed. Not with the 2 Shiva. Customer ID 4 Shiva has to be removed. Now what I have to do in this case means here we have to write the clearly select, that is delete. We have to use the command called as delete customers table. The table name is customers. In that what you want to delete? Siva. Where customer ID is equal to 4. Now, if you write like this, where the customer ID is equal to 4, only that particular one will be selected. Delete table customers. Okay. Delete the table where 1 minute. Delete customers where customer ID is from. Sorry, 1 minute. My mistake. Delete from. Whenever you are using the insert, we have to use the insert into. This is compulsory, and followed by values. Okay, delete insert into. Whenever you are using the delete, we have to use the delete from table name. What are the table name is there? Delete from table name. Okay, so we are going to write here delete from customers where customer ID is equal to 4. Whenever you are using the delete, from is compulsory. Delete from customers where customer ID is equal to 4 means it is going to delete only that particular row. Select star. Right? Only that particular row was deleted. Now I want to delete the multiple rows like customer ID 4 and customer ID 5, 6, 7 like this, or simply to say 3 and 5. I want to delete 3 and 5. Now what I have to do means delete from customers where customer ID in okay 3, 5. 3, 5. When you are having the multiple, we are going to apply the membership operator. How to delete a single row? How to delete a multiple rows? Okay. Like this, we are going to delete the multiple rows. Clear, guys? Everyone? Yes. A particular that particular value should be filled with the null. Replace. You have to replace. For example, in this entire row, total 10 values are there. In that one value only you want to remove. Remaining 9 values should be as it is. That one value, whatever you want to remove now, that value should be filled with null, replaced with null. Is the point is clear? Now, so like this, we are going to delete from the tables. Okay, multiple rows. So delete command is used to what? It is used to delete a single record. It is used to delete a single record, and also it is used to delete a multiple records. To delete a single record or to delete multiple records. Now, what is the problem? Instead of using the primary key, if you are using this one, what is the problem is, let's insert one more time. Okay, let me try to insert one more time this one. Now, one more time I'm doing this one. Now, can you see here Siva 2 times was repeated? Now, here I'm writing the delete from customers, where instead of customer ID, I'm using the name. What are the name is there? Name equal to Siva. Wherever the name is equal to Siva. Now, here delete from customers where name is equal to Siva. You are using the safe and you're updating a table. So here basically you are trying to update a table where that uses a without a key column. You are not using the key column. Now when you are not using a key column and you are trying to remove this one, you are using the safe mode. As now you are using the safe mode. By default it will go with the safe mode. In the safe mode, when you are trying to delete, it will be used using the primary key only. But when you are trying to, instead of deleting with the primary key, when you try to delete with another column, the problem is here automatically multiple data will have the repeated values. Primary key only will not have the not null, or which of the columns are having the not null, fine. But for example, okay, not null with unique, not null plus unique, both of them is possible only for the primary key. Either not null will be there or either unique will be there, but both of them, a combination of both of them is called as primary key. Now instead of using the primary key, if you are using something, what happens means here Siva will be deleted, this Siva also will be deleted, then both of them will be deleted, which is unsafe. So that is the reason it is saying that you are using the safe mode. No sir, I don't want to safe mode, I want to come out of the safe mode. Means here we are having the option within the file to come out of the safe mode. I'll show you that one later. So generally why we should not use that one means here there is an option that particular column may have the duplicates. When it is having the duplicates, or multiple records will be deleted with one shot, right? So that is going to be a problem sometimes. That is the reason, right? Now coming to the next one. Okay, how to delete a single record we have seen, how to delete a multiple records we have seen. Now how to delete a column, sir? Deleting a row was okay. What about the column? Drop column comes under alter table. Drop row comes under delete. Drop column comes under which one? Alter table. So here drop column. So if you want to drop the column called as name, okay, alter table. What are the table is there? Table customers. And in that you are going to drop column name. You are going to drop the column name and this will be dropped. And now if you see, you can see only with respect to only one column. So in order to drop the column, what you have to use? alter. Now in the drop, instead of one column, you want to drop the multiple columns. For example, 3-4 columns are there. I want to drop the 2 columns, means just you have to write the drop column, first column name, comma, second column name, comma, second. So automatically 2 columns. If you want to drop third one, 3. If you drop to fourth one, 4. Like this, you can drop the multiple columns at a time. You can drop a single column. You can drop the multiple columns. So dropping a column will comes under alter table. Dropping a row comes under delete. Is the point is clear? Now, sir, now we have dropped now. Now again, I want to do the modification. Again, I want to come back. Whatever I have deleted, I want to come back. Control Z option is available here. When you try to Control Z, so what are the undo option? If I click on the Control Z or anything, if I keep like this and if I do something, here editing will be possible, not in the table. Okay, whatever you have deleted in the editor window, the whatever you are writing backspace, this one, that is Control Z. But table you can't get. Is the point is clear? Now for this case, what we have to do one more time, means we have to create one more time a column. Now tell me guys, how to add a column? Alter tables, add column name called as name. So I'm adding the column name called as name. Now, so when I execute this one, alter table customers, add column, name column. Data type we have to mention. What is the data type? Varchar of 100. Okay, so it is going to add a column. Now, after adding a column, now I want to add some data in that. How to add the data? I want now, let me check here, table. So table is there, everything is null only. Now I want to insert the data. 4 values are missing. Nothing is there. A new column was inserted now, so everything is nothing. So now I want to add something in that. Now how to add? So here insert into, what is the table name? Customers. In the customers, what you want to insert? Name column only you want to use. And what are the values you want to insert in that? First value. What is the first value you want to insert? This is my first value, SRK. Okay, this is my first value, SRK. Now I want to insert the second value. What is my second value, Miss Siva? How to insert Siva? Comma in the bracket Siva. Next, I'm going to insert third value, Rama. I'm going to insert the fourth value, which is again Siva. Now total how many values I'm inserting? 4 values I'm inserting. Right? So if you observe clearly, sir, why you have chosen the bracket, comma, bracket means this bracket, that is the reason I told you I'll bring this one downside like this. So here this bracket indicates here how many arguments are there, that many arguments. This is separate, this is separate, this is separate, and this is separate. 1 row, 1 right? Now, so here I'm going to add something like this and I'm going to insert and so here customer ID already default value is available. Just here what are the values are there? The values are now one of the student is asking the question, Renuka, insert into the customers. Directly we can't insert like this. The values are Renu, Renka and Shruti something. Can't we insert like this in terms of now here how many values, how many column names are there? 1 column name is there and you are trying to give 3. So can you see here srk dot customers? First it is saying that, sorry, insert into customers. Customer spelling mistake. Now column count doesn't match to the count. So here column count is 1, but how many you have given is 4, right? It is not going to match. Now this is the 1. So I'm going to insert, instead of insert again I have to update, individual I have to update. When I add the values like this, so customer ID 1234 is there. Now names I want to insert Sivarama and this one name values, but it is throwing the error that customer ID it doesn't have the default value. So default value is not there. Now if I write the default value as 1, it is going to give me the problem that. So again I have to replace, literally I have to replace here, because if I write here 1 miss 1 comma srk miss, it will say that 1 is already available. If I write here 4 miss 4 comma srk 5 comma srk miss, a new column will be inserted, a new row will be inserted, but I want to fill these 4. These 4 I want to fill miss, obviously I have to use the replace, that is nothing but update method. The keyword I have to go with the update. Okay, it is not accepting to add directly the only that particular column when you are having one of the column as primary key. Is the point is clear? Now next, coming to the next one is, right? So here what I am going to do is, just a minute, I'll drop the table, that is customers. After dropping the entire table of customers, I'm going to create one more time. Let me do one more time this one, and let me add the customers one by one. This one is not required, and similarly okay. So insert customer ID comma name, values are 1 comma srk, and comma 2 comma Siva, 3 comma Rama, 4 comma Siva. Now I'm inserting this one and click on the select customers. Okay, now again I have got the 4 for our understanding purpose. Now once it was created, now what I'm going to do is here truncate. Okay, so here how to remove a single row I already have told you, that is delete command. How to delete the multiple rows also I have told you, that is also delete command. Now we are seeing the how to remove all the rows at a time. At a time, how to remove all the rows. Table should be there, but row should not be there. I want an empty table. So for that, what we are going to use? Truncate. Truncate table customers. Truncate table customers. And what happens? It is going to remove the entire things. And if you are interested, you can ask select star from customers. And you can see nothing is available. Is the point is clear? So instead of removing one row, 2 rows, I want to remove all the rows at a time. All the rows at a time. To remove all the rows, we are going to use the truncate. Truncate command is used to truncate the table. To remove all the rows at a time. Truncate table. What are the table you want to remove all the rows? Truncate means removing all the rows. Keeping the table as it is and removing the all the rows. Okay. What is the Sapna is asking? What is the difference between truncate versus uh, delete. So truncate means removing all the rows, and delete means removing a single or multiple rows, is called as delete, right? Now, if you remember the list dot remove of 3 versus same list dot clear, what is the difference? In the list dot remove, we are going to remove method is used to remove the one value, whereas clear, it will remove everything and it will give the empty list as the output. So similar way, so here we are having the table. What are the table is there? In the last class, I have told you this example already, and one more time I'm using. So here, some data you are having like this. Take some data. Okay, some data like this you are having. Okay, now in this data, I want to remove any one row or two rows, any particular row. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to remove. Now one row was removed. Now instead of removing one row, I want to remove all the rows. And whatever the rows are there, every row I want to remove. Now all the rows are removed, but table is as it is. Column names are as it is. Removing all the rows is called as truncate. Swapna, is your question is clear? Now, Renuka, which one has to be repeated? It is clear for you, right? Done. Yeah, for you also it is clear. So, truncate, delete and drop. So, truncate means it is going to remove all the rows. Remove all rows. It is going to remove each and every row. All the rows will be removed. It is called as truncate. Drop means it is going to remove all the rows. What about the table? Table also will be removed. Table columns will be as it is. Columns will be as it is. But rows are deleted. Columns will be as it is, but rows are deleted. What about this one? Drop. In the drop, what happens? It removes all the rows. It removes all the rows and along with the columns. Removes all the rows and also remove all columns. Everything is removed. Nothing will be left. Table will be removed. So simply to say, it removes all the rows and table will be as it is. Empty table. It removes all the rows and you will have empty table. In this case, entire table is removed. Entire table, what are the table is there, is removed. Means the meaning of this one is removes all rows and all columns. The entire table will be removed. Rows will be removed, columns also will be removed. In this case, again we have to create the table once again. In this case, since table is available, just we have to insert the values only. Is the point is clear? Yes. What about the constraints? Everything will be removed. When you are doing the remove, automatically everything will be removed. Table only not there means constraints also will not be there, right? Krishna Sai ready. Clear? For truncate, rows are removed. Columns will not be impacted now. You have applied the constraints on the column names or on the rows. What are the data type? What are the constraint is there that is applicable on the column names or on the row names? Point is clear? So now tell me, according to you, you tell me now. So when I use the truncate, whether the constraints will be deleted or not deleted? Same question. What are the question you asked earlier to me? Same question now. Answer is no. Exactly correct. So constraints will not be deleted. It will not impact on the column names only. Column names, column data types, column constraints, nothing will be impacted. Only rows will be deleted. Point is clear? Done. Next, this is rename, alter, create, drop, truncate, insert and delete. Now finally we have left with update. Now let us see with the update how to replace. Update. Update is nothing but a replace. In the drop, all the data of a particular row is deleted. In truncate, data of the table is removed, right? Yogendra, second one is correct. Truncate, data of the table is removed. In the drop, all data of that particular row is deleted, means not particular row, everything. Again unnecessarily you are confusing, guys. Just let me show you with an again example, one more example clearly. Observe this one. Okay, let me write here X and Y, two columns, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the table. Yogendra and others who are having the doubts, just understand one more time clearly. This is the table. This is the column names. And column names are having the data type called as int and not null or primary key, whatever it is. Okay, X column is int type and not null constraint. Y is primary key, PK directly. And it is also int type. Data type is int and constraint is directly, it is primary key. Now you are having something like this. At this table, and one more time, this one. Total 3 times I have taken. Okay, 1 minute. Just to give me a minute. Int with the primary key. Okay, now you are having the 3 tables like this. Now I'm using the delete command. Starting with the delete. What is the meaning of delete? Truncate. In the second table, I'll apply the truncate. In the third table, I'll apply the drop. Let's see the difference clearly. In the first table, I am applying the delete command. By using the delete command, I'm removing one row. Row was removed. Only one row. One row was removed. That is delete command. Right? Is the point is clear? Delete is clear for everyone? Now, in the truncate, this everything was removed. Table is there. Table is as it is like this. In the table, column names. What are the column names? X column, Y column. What is the data type? Int and int. What is the constraint? Not null and it is primary key. Table is there, column names are there, but internal data is not there. That is truncate. Truncate is clear? Yogendra, truncate is clear? means internal values. All the rows are deleted, means internally nothing is there. Rows, every row is deleted. Earlier, how many rows are there here? 4 rows. I am deleting the 4 rows like this. Click on this and click on the delete. So entire data is removed in the truncate, but the table will be existed with the column names. Table exists with the column names along with the data types and constraints. Table will be as it is. Now in the drop, I'm going to remove this, not only this one, along with this one also I'm removing. Completely I'm removing. Now this table only not there. Table is not there, heading is not there, nothing is there. Or simply, if I remove this one, okay, I'm selecting including the column names. Including the column names. Earlier what we have selected, in the previous example what you have selected means only you have selected the rows. From here to here I have selected the rows and I have clicked on the delete button. I have selected all the rows and I clicked on the delete button, that is called as truncate. Here I am selecting the rows along with the column names also. Column names also, including the column names, everything. Now nothing is there. Table only not there. Table means minimum one column name should be there, right? One column name is there only, it is called as table. Without a column name, this is not considered as table. Table only not there here. This entire things I am removing. Is the point is clear? Drop. Right? Yes. In this case, we have to again, if you drop the table, again you have to create one more time. Obviously. Done? So if you need to need the table, but we want to use the same table. For example, your batch details are there. What is your batch details table names? Serial number, name of the student, batch timing, trainer name, course name. Like this column names are created and your data was inserted. Once your batch was completed, we'll remove your names and new student names will be added. Column names will be the same now. Same serial number, same student name, same course details, everything will be the same. Column names will be the same, but internal data will be changed. Your batch is completed means your data will be cleared and new batch details will be added. Now in this case, what I'm going to do, should I remove the entire table or should I remove only the records? So in this case, we are going to do the truncate. Is the point is clear, guys? Everyone? Is that clear now? 3 of them? Right? That is the difference between the delete, truncate versus drop when you are going to do this. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now next one is truncate was completed. This is completed. Now, so all the 5 commands within the DDL, 5 commands are completed. That is create, alter, rename, drop and truncate. All the 5 are completed within the DDL. Clear? And now we are moving on to the DML. DML means where manipulation. We are adding the data, we are removing the data, we are updating the data, replacing. These 3 comes under data manipulation. Data manipulation. Okay, data manipulation. So data manipulation language, that is DML. So data manipulation language, which is also called as data modification. Manipulation or modification. Modification is general English word. In the data world, we call it as manipulation. Okay. In general English, it is called as modification. Both are same. Modification means 3 things are called as modification. Add, remove, replace. These 3 are called as modifications. Now add. How to add means we are going to use add. How to add data. Adding data is nothing but insert. Removing the data is nothing but delete. If you want to remove some data from this, you are going to use the delete. If you want to add the data, it is called as insert. If you want to replace the data, what is meant by data? Data means, always remember, this is called as table, this is called as data. Column names comes under table. Internal values only comes under data. Ignore the column names. Column names should not be included in the data. Column names are part of table. For column names, anything you have to do modification means you have to use the alter. Internal values, if you want to do modification means data manipulation language. Rows are considered as data. This one is considered as table. Column names. If you want to touch the column names, use the alter. If you want to touch the column names. If you want to touch internal values, then you have to use the DML. Now you want to add a new row. Row means you are touching data, na you are touching column name. You want to add a new column name or you are adding a new row. Row means data. You are touching the data. If you are adding a column, a new column name you are adding, then it is called as table. Alter table. Point is clear? So here data manipulation language, whatever you are having. So replace means nothing but update. When you want to replace the data, replace data means replace the column name. No, replace any row, internal row. If you want to replace the internal row, then internal row, internal value, anything. You want to replace internally the data, then you are going to use the update. Is the point is clear? Update. Now using the update command, we are going to update the data, right? Update the data. So now how we are going to update the data? Whenever you are using the update set, we have to use the keyword. So here, as I've told you, whenever you are using the insert, what you have to use? Into. When you are using the delete, what is the second word you have to use? From. When you are doing the update, when you are using the update, 100% you have to write the set update table name. Wherever I'm writing the underline, it is table name. Underline is nothing but table name, right? Update table name, set, okay? Write the column name, column, what are the column name is there? Column name is equal to, with what value you want to replace? Value. With what you want to fill that value, with what you want to fill or replace or something, and you have to write here where condition, right? Now so here just observe, first let's start from customers. Again it is deleted, right? Already I have done the truncate, it is empty table now. Okay, now again I have to insert, again go back, again let's insert some data, again let us execute this query. Data was inserted. After data was inserted, again let us practice this example. Now data is there. Now what I want to do is I want to modify the Siva with Krishna. Now Siva with Krishna, now I have to choose the primary key. Without using the primary key, if you write using the other column name, it will throw again safe mode error. As per the, whenever you want to do modifications, you have to use the primary key. So here I'm going to use the primary key. I want to replace the Siva with Krishna. So how to replace the Siva with Krishna means update Okay, update which table? Customers table. Update the customers table. Sir, why we have to write every time table name, sir? Miss, because a database consists of multiple tables. For which one it has to be applied? So it should know, right? So for example, sir, customer ID will be there in the this table along with the say one more table also customer ID might be available. In which table it has to do the modification? In a database, multiple tables will be there, and multiple tables may have the same column name also. Like in the last class, whatever you have created, items, customers, and sales. In these three, customers is having the customer ID as a primary key. In the sales table also customer ID is there as a foreign key. Now without writing the customers table, what happens, miss? Which table it has to select, it will not understand. Simply it will throw the error. So that is the reason we have to write clearly the customer ID. Set name is equal to Krishna. Krishna. I want to replace where customer ID is equal to 1. Sorry, 4. Where customer ID is equal to 4. Now, after executing, again you have to print. It is saving. Either print will be done or save will be done. Same as Python. Now, to print, again you have to see the output, miss. Again you have to print. For printing here, we are going to write the select star. What is meant by star means entire data. Star meaning is entire data from that particular table. So it will be replaced with the Krishna. Earlier it is Shiva, it will be filled with Krishna like this. Okay, to print the entire data, to print or to view, everything is same. As one of the student is saying, to view the data, right? Even view the data also. Is the point is clear? Everyone? So this is update command. Update is used to update the data, right? Now let's play the main important one called as DQL. So always you have to use, whenever you are using the where command, don't forget to use the primary key. Instead of primary key, if you are using any other column name, it will give the error. Safe mode. Again, you have to replace the safe mode, and you are having the all the rights. That option is available. We can modify. That is not a problem. But what happens means when the same values are there, for example, Shiva, 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 3 Shivas are there in a column. Okay, name of the customers, 3 Shivas are there, 1, 2, and 3. Now I want to replace this Shiva with SRK. Instead of using the primary key of 2, if I use the name is equal to Krishna, where name is equal to Shiva, if I write, what happens? 3 Shivas will be replaced with the 3 Krishnas. Is the point is clear? Sir, I want to replace wherever the Shiva is there, all the Shivas has to be replaced with the Krishna, sir. All the Shivas, not a particular one. All the Shivas has to be replaced. Then obviously you can choose with the name. Then all the Shivas, everything will be replaced. Sir, a particular Shiva only has to be replaced with the Krishna miss, then you have to go with the primary key. Sir, I want all the Shivas and this one means, in that case, you can use the name. For removing the safe mode, we have to go with the file, and within the file, we have to go with the configuration. Okay, that is I'll show you in the next class. As of now, don't require. Okay, let's ignore that one, and let's move on to the in terms of DQL. Okay, next one is called as DQL. First, let us complete this and let us see the safe mode and everything. DQL, that is data query language, which is more important to us. Okay, this is the most important one. Data query language, which is nothing but DQL. Now, So to apply the DQL, as I've told you earlier, we are going to get the data. Okay, the data will be already available in the database. Okay, now as of now, to explain in a simple words of DQL, I'll show with a simple example, but major example we are going to apply on the IMDb data set. Now what is DQL means? DQL means select. Select command, that is only command in the entire DQL. Only one command is there called as select. In DDL we are having the 5 commands total. First command, second command and this one. Total 3 commands are there. Total 5 commands are there. What are the 5 commands miss? First one is called as create, alter, rename, drop and truncate. Total 5 are there. And in the DML, how many are there? Insert, delete, update. 3 are there. But in the DQL, only one. Select. Single one. Okay. And most powerful one. And we require this one. Okay. For us, entire things are here only. Right. Now, so select means we are going to select the data as per the requirement. Select meaning is extracting the data or selecting the data as per requirement. Okay, starting with first one. Let's start with the first one called as select star from customers. What is meant by star means all columns. All columns and automatically all rows. The entire data will be selected. Now if you want to see a particular column, only one column you want to see, not all the columns, then select name. I'm writing the name from customers. Only name column is separated. Now, for example, you are having the 2 column names I want. Select okay. 2 columns. What are the 2 columns means? One is customer ID, comma, name from customers. Now I'm going to select the 2 columns. Now tell me guys, what is the difference between this one versus DF? DF of tip column, DF of total bill, comma, tip column. What is the difference? In the DF, what happens? All the columns. In this, only one column tip. In this, tip and total bill. These are the 2 columns will be selected. Same logic. All the columns, single column, this one. For example, I want 3 column names. What I have to do? Here we have to write one more column name. Here we have to write one more column name. That's it. Now, in the last class, I have told you that how to load the IMDb dataset, right? So now I'm going to use the IMDb dataset from now. That is, I have stored in the Rama. In my case, I have stored in the database called as Rama. And here I'm having the tables. Multiple tables are there. In that one of the table I'm choosing. What is the table is select star from table name is movies. This is the table. And click on the OK. Now, so total how many rows are showing means 1000 rows. First 1000 rows only it is showing basically. Why? Because limit to 1000 records is there in the top. Change this one to no limit. No limit means all the records. All the records. In the pandas, how many records it will show? If you print the DF, how many records it will show? If you are having 500 records also, it will show all the records. Huh? No. First 5 records, dot, 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 last 5 records. Right? And if you want to see everything, then what you are going to do? Set options, display maximum rows as none. Similarly here, no limit. When you keep no limit, how many rows are there? Every row you can see. Total how many records are there in this data set means 3,88,269 records are there. Is the point is clear? Now here most importantly, we are going to see like this. This entire data, what are the entire data of movies table is there now? This movies table, I'm just sending, I'm exporting, okay, to a CSV file. Okay, I'm loading as a CSV file. Where I'm going to load means on the desktop, I'm going to give the movies.csv. Okay, click on the export. Here there is an option called as export. This is import. If already CSV file is there with you, like tips data set is there, right? That data, if you want to add here, you can add. That data you can bring here, or this data you can send outside. So here I'm having the export. Export means I'm going to save as a CSV file. Now why you are saving as a CSV file? Now after saving that one, I'll show you the magic, and you'll see that after seeing that one, you'll say that, sir, then what is the purpose of learning SQL? You will only say, right? So this is the movies table, guys. Just a minute. First, let me check whether this query is completed. No. Sir, how you know this query is not completed? My cursor is not accepting to write the next query now. So still the previous query is going on. So the previous query is nothing but whatever the last one I have told you, that saving. Still all the rows are getting saved. It is taking time. Once your cursor is allowing to write here query, then that one is completed. So as of now, I'm showing you how to save that one. But in the reality, in the company, you will not get this option because the data will be leaked. Then how to do means directly we can connect the database to the Python only. Connection only is available. Directly we are going to connect and directly we'll open the data in the Python itself. Okay. But we'll not have the option to save like this because the data can be leaked. Sir, why we are exporting the data? It is to analyze? No, just to show you the difference between the pandas versus SQL. Movies table, no. Generally, it will not take this much of time. Okay. Yeah, it is related to movies table. 3,85,639. Still, it has to load. Done. Completed. Done, guys. Now let's cross check once. So can we see here total number of records? 3 lakhs. Total how many records? 3,88,269. But why here we are having 3,85,639 only? One more time. Just let me save one more time. Not one query or two queries. If it is one query or two queries, I used to not to do this one. Almost we are going to execute 50 to 60 queries. And we are going to see the difference between the pandas versus this one. And so once you learn the difference now, it would be easy for you to understand in the further and in the future, whichever you feel easy, you can execute accordingly. You have not given limit. Sir, here total number of records should match with the number of records in the table. Here we have given no limit. Yeah, of course. Here, whatever the no limit you have given here, na, it will show for viewing only. This no limit is here, not for saving purpose. If you have limit here, for example, 100 rows limit is there, that 100 rows will be available here. And that 100 rows will be saved. What are the rows you are viewing now? That only will be saved. So no limit means automatically what happens? Entire 3,88,269 rows were viewed and 3,88,269 records has to be exported. Finally completed. Yes, 1 minute. Yes, 3,88,269. Done. We have got all the records finally, right? Done. Now, what we are going to do is just we are going to load this CSV file in the pandas. Okay. So to load in the pandas, first I'm going to use the Jupyter notebook. So first I'm opening the Jupyter notebook. After Jupyter notebook here, just I'm adding a new Python file. And what are the Python file is there? I'm keeping on the left side here, and right side I'm keeping this one. Okay, both of them side by side for your comparison purpose. One minute. This is the maximum length. Why it is not moving? Okay, done. Let me keep like this. Okay, so here I'm going to import the pandas as PD, and I'm going to load the file that is read underscore CSV. And what are the file is there, right? And the file name, it is available on the desktop. So let me copy the path. And what is the file name is movies.csv, right? And this is the entire file. Now, just I'm loading here, and this one is I'm storing in the DF. What are the file I have loaded? I'm storing in the DF. Next, within the C drive, users desktop movies.csv. What is the problem? File not found error. Properties. C desktop. Within the desktop only, right? Movies.csv. Again, parsing error. Eh, 1 minute. Simply let us load this CSV file only in my working directory. Let's keep this one in my working directory directly there only. That would be easy for me. Right? And here I'm just trying to load this one. Now again problem. What is this problem? pd.read underscore CSV and the CSV file only, right? This is CSV or XLR? CSV only, na? Dot CSV. pd.read underscore CSV. Movies.csv. Same thing, right? Then what is the problem? Three five double five 148. Three double five 148. Okay, it has given some problem. Okay, guys, let me recheck this one. And here, actually, we should not get this kind of problem. But if required, we can directly connect that one to the Python only. The database directly will let us connect to the Python only. And let us open the data and let's execute. So we'll continue this one in the tomorrow's class. The only one thing you have to do for tomorrow's class is just revise once pandas for tomorrow. Okay, practice SQL. What are the commands we have discussed? Along with that, revise once pandas queries. Sorry, pandas programs. What are the pandas programs are there? Just revise once. So that tomorrow we are going to see the comparison between the SQL versus pandas also. Right? Yeah. Tomorrow I will show you how to connect the database to the Python directly. We are having the library. There is a library for that. A separate library is available. And using that library, we are going to connect. Okay. Connect a Python to MySQL. This query we are going to execute in the tomorrow's class. Right? Done. I will show you in the tomorrow's class how to connect directly. Done, guys. You can leave. If no questions, you can leave.